Good morning, everybody. How you doing? This is Shelley. I am coming to you from my home office here with the hamburger. You get bonus points if you ask me why there's a hamburger over my shoulder. But I'm in Northern California. I'm an advanced director, and I'm super excited to chat with you today. This is Saturday Success Talk, and this is a little different. So I need some feedback to know that I'm not just talking into the void. So if you're watching and you're hearing me, I need a thumbs up or a happy face or something fun. I see Eve is watching, so great. I do want you to, I do best when you ask me questions while we're going, so especially in this format. So if you have a question or something, let me know. But this format is kind of new. I've done this though for a couple different times for my team. So here's the concept. I heard so much on the sharing just a few minutes ago about everybody's businesses taking off. We're finding that as well. And when we get brand new consultants started, our topic here is tracking your contacts and making lots of contacts, and how in the heck do you keep track of them all and make sure to follow up? And that's what I'm going to show you today. Sound good? So, hi, Shelley. Heather says hi. Heather, what the heck are you doing here? Good. Alrighty. So what we're going to do is, pretend that you're a brand new consultant. I teach this in my intro calls for our newest consultants. And one of the things that we find is repetition is helpful. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you. So on the Facebook page for the Saturday Success Talk, there's a little form, and I'm going to flip my screen around here so that you can actually see it. And it's a simple looking little thing. And this is the tool that I'm going to show you how to use in order to track your contacts and follow up. And do tell me that if you're using this, post that in the comments. If you have seen it before, I learned this technique from Stephen Joseph, who's Stephen Dropowski, I think is how he pronounces his name, off of Facebook. And he got it from somebody else who I don't remember who to give credit to, but it's the simplest dang thing. And so in our team, we all start, our weeks start, okay, on Fridays. So I want you to print a dozen or 20 of these little forms. And you start with this week. The week of yesterday was Friday, May 22nd. You write that up here. There's section for bookings, right? There's a section at the top for bookings with 25 lines, and then recruits down at the bottom with about 7 lines. And you very, very likely need 1 page a day. Once you get up and running and your calendar's going, it's one of these a week. But as you make your contacts, their names go right here under the booking line. And let's see one that's actually, there you go, okay. And then as you see, so let's say you're going to reach out to Sally about booking a party, and that first time you contact her is on today, May 23rd. And then the next day you put May 24th, and then maybe May 26th or so. But this is the dates of the contacts. The first contact, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth. And you put those dates in there and you follow up. But let me show it to you actually in action, how it looks when you actually are using it. Okay, so here's mine. And remember, I told you I started this last June when I learned it from Kathy, or from Stephen, and it was in fact June 10th of last year. And I was trying to fill my online parties, my virtual party calendar. And I was a little worried about it, but I reached out to some of my first customers. I reached Kathy and Olga and Carol, and I'm Tommy here, and then Michelle. Oh my gosh, Michelle and Carol are both consultants on our team now. And Donna and Rosario. Well, Rosario is working towards directorship on our team as well. So, and you can see the dates that I contacted folks. And this was really just, it's not so much about what you say, is that you're making the contacts and you are following up with them. So you can see when I started on June 10th, I didn't get going very hard. I only contacted 3 people, right? And then on the 11th, 2 more, and on the 12th, I kind of got serious about it, right? So these are my contacts. And over here, Kathy and Tommy, they booked those very first parties. Yahoo, wonderful. Whoops, I should show you that. Okay, I've got some notes over here. But still, I didn't contact folks very many times. Tommy a couple times, but everybody just one. Let's see a couple days, a week later, and what that sheet's looking like. I was booking so many parties because I was following up and asking again. And the yellow were highlighted parties that I was booking. And really the contacts, the message that I was sharing with them wasn't anything outrageous. It was simply, hey, Kathy, I'm going to be doing some online parties. I have an opening for next Friday. What do you think? Do you want to be a host? It was something like that. It wasn't a ton of information because I wanted them to come back to me with some questions and comments about it so that we could talk about it. But then the next time I followed up, it might have been, hey, did you see my note about that party? Would you like to get in on it? And the next week, like, oh, I've got openings for this week. Is it your turn? Something simple like that. Let's actually look at it as to how it proceeded, because I still have that same little form here. And I noticed when we were sharing our good news, Julie even reinforced what I'm trying to show you. She said, be sure, new consultants, be sure to follow up 5 and 6 times or more. Thank you, Julie. You couldn't have done perfect. This is that sheet now. And you can see it says June, whatever it is, June, early June up at the top. And Kathy and Tommy were those first bookings that I got. And I highlighted them and their party started. So this first sheet, actually, they were my contacts. So in the margin here, I wrote me. When I got to the next page though, I was getting new contacts from Kathy and Tommy's party, Kathy and Tommy. And so I was putting C's and T's in the margin to help me identify which host those people came from. And I just want you to look as I go through this. And remember, highlights are booked parties or signed recruits. Okay, and here we have Kathy and Tommy's party actually generated 2 pages worth of new contacts, more bookings, more recruits. And I was doing just 2 parties a week, which we train our folks to do now. We train our folks to do 4 and more. I was a little nervous, but look at all the contacts and all the bookings I was getting. And in some cases, I did follow up. Can you see these are the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, even more follow-up dates. But some I never followed up a second time. You know what? If I ever ran out of business, all I'd have to do is open up this package and open to any page and just send everybody on this list a single message that I'm copying and pasting saying, hey, I've got online parties starting next week. Is it your turn? We met back last June at Dina's party, right? And put in the date and go to the next page. So this proceeded, that was the first week that I actually had 4 hosts and I booked a bunch and we still are signing new folks. This really is where our team started exploding. Was last June, and then went July, and we went to national conference and we found out about the fast track rewards, and I took this with me to conference, and we've been booming like this ever since, because the more parties you have, the more people you meet, the more folks you book, the more people you have to sign in order to eventually take those bookings. It was getting so full. So this is a sheet for one or 2 sheets a week. I just saw is this for 1 week from Julie. But let me show you as I flip it over. My calendar was getting so full. Hi guys. I basically just was trying to keep track of where I was each month. I was still July and August, and I was booking into September and October. So here's September. And the Friday start dates, right? And host 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I kept on going. And then I was penciling people in. I told my husband, I will take this week off, right? But I was scheduling folks in. And I just kept using this tool. And to this day, still do. And I was booked, gosh, this was October. Okay. And it's been like that ever since. Here's this week, May 15th, right? And actually there's Pam and there's Mary and all these gals that just joined our team. You're on here and you're highlighted with your parties. So I went over that a little fast as I wave this around in my excitement. I don't expect you to see it all, but if you have, let me kind of scroll through the questions and see what questions. Just pen and pencil. I'm going to kind of go work my way backwards here. Diane's watching. That's great. Looks like pen and pencil. Is it a computer copy? it's a little PDF form that I've posted already in this group so that you can just click on it and print a bunch of copies and save it for yourself. And I'll post it again. I'll post a blank copy as well as the ones with my examples on them if you can't get the Evernote open. But you should be able to. If you have an internet connection from your phone or your computer, open it and there's attachments inside. Just double click them, okay? Another question, Shelley, when you were contacting peeps from a party, was it everyone on the party or just the ones that showed interest? Thank you. I was waiting for that question. I'm clicking the button to see more and I can't see more. Okay, so I can't see the rest of your question, but you know, if you're following a good outline for your online parties, you're actually doing steps that generate contacts for you. For example, first couple days of the party, we play a guessing game and we ask folks to send us the message with their answer instead of posting it in the party. And because they send us a message, you say, wow, you were really close. There were 63 carrots in the blender. How do you know our host? You know, what keeps you busy in your area? Are you a Pampered Chef fan? And all of a sudden you get in an individual conversation with them. Those are the folks. You play a guessing game with a paycheck. They message you with their answer. Those are the folks that end up on this list because you're developing relationships with them. You might play something on the oh my gosh, in the game, in the party, that is guess the paycheck, or tell me what, if you know money was no object, what's on your wish list from Pampered Chef. Those are the people you reach out to with a message, and it, you know, they go right on your list and you say, hey, I see that you wanted the knife block set, can I share more about how to get that? And you're in a personal message with them. So those are the people that go on this list. And you know that everyone who you ask about, offer a chance to do a party, you know they're going to say no the first time. Don't you? Don't you guys know that? Right? The stats actually show it in any sales environment. Okay, we are by nature, we are salespeople. We teach a lot, but we are salespeople. But in any of those sales environments, you might reach out to a bunch of people, and the first time you offer something to somebody, they will say no. And they said the stats show that only 7% of people will say yes, and that means 93% of them are going to say no. Pam, Kate, Christine can all confirm this, right? The second time, and if you go back the second time, that's when you get more yeses, maybe 15%. The third time that you offer it, then you might be up to like 25% yeses. But it's the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth times where you get up into the 70 and 90% of people will say yes if they're asked those future times. So for, and you know it happened with you too, right? And it's not badgering. It's just following up and saying, hey, did you see my offer from last month? Is it your turn now? Simple, something like that. If you're concerned about the words, do a screenshot of the interaction and send it to your director, and we'll all help you with the words. Okay, but the follow-up is super, super critical. Let's see what other questions we have here. Diane says, when you were contacting peeps, was it everybody? What other questions? You see the words backward on my live. Sorry, technology. Phone call, text, or Facebook Messenger. Yes, whatever way they contacted, whatever. If you're on Facebook, typically Facebook Messenger. The original was, in fact, from Stephanie Richardson. Thank you very much. And I'll go all the way back to the bottom. My dog is saying hi. How much time do you let pass before going back on a follow-up? Follow up the first time, the very next day. It may end up being a couple contacts in the same day. Life goes fast right now. And then, you know, every couple days for a couple times, and then every couple weeks, and then once a month go back and reconnect with the pages for all of, say, last month. Yes, my puppy is saying hi. So Diane says, correct, although she's not out and about right now. What are your most successful posts for business interests? There is nothing specific, Diane. It's not. It's simply being excited about what's going on, cheering for your host and letting them know in the party, right? Recognizing them in the party, for this great job they're doing. Do the recruit seeds to each host every week. There's 5 of them, 5 contacts to your host to invite them to do the business. Those generate a lot. And in this last party that I just finishing right now, I have 5 hosts. One is Pam, who signed up 2 days ago. One is Mary, who signed up with Pam 2 days ago. One is Tina, who signed up yesterday. And then one of the hosts in that party is Richard, who signed from the week before's party. And this is his kickoff, along with all of my hosts all together. And so you make a point to tell folks that. Say, one of our hosts is Richard. This is how he's learning to do his new business. They're like, oh, that's how she supports everybody. Those hosts and all my consultants who are training all go in a host message group during the week with my hosts and the folks who I'm teaching. And I tell the hosts that they're just peeking in to learn how to do online parties for their customers. And so hope that helps. But it's those kind of steps that generate conversations about doing the business with us. And then Julie says, Shelley, you're pulling leads from virtual, and this allows you to place in the columns and then begin the tracking process. So you find their names from the Facebook party, right? And you put in the column the name of the host, the initials of the host, who is connected to that person. So it helps you just keep track. You might put some notes over here in the column about them. Like I put my prize winners here because I know I'm going to be following up with prize winners. And then the date, each date that you contact folks. Okay. I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. Shelley's the block party queen. Christine is also the block party queen. Teresa asks, are you always following up with booking script or giving customer care sometimes? Absolutely. All of the above. All of it. So if you have somebody who says, my stoneware broke, they go on the list. In fact, my hosts contacts go at the top, and for that week when I have somebody that's not attached to these hosts, they just go at the bottom of the list, and I put me right in them, and I may make a note, broken stone over here. So yeah, everybody that you're contacting, anybody and you're going to miss some, but goodness gracious, if you just put half of the people that you contacted on this list, but you worked at it every day, and still you would have tons and tons of bookings, right? So you're not after perfect, but once you start using it, just keep it with you, carry this with a pen and a cell phone when you leave the house, and you can make the best use of 2 or 3 minutes just by copying and pasting and sending a single message, checking them off the list. It's all in the numbers, right? Love this. Okay, so it's about time. Any last questions or any that I missed? And Cindy says she likes the help. Thank you. We appreciate. Tristan says, where do you keep their full contact information? Thank you. In Evernote. So I happen to be the Evernote queen, and I use it for my Pampered Chef business and teach others. Search in the recorded calls for this series, and you might find some of my trainings, but reach out if you want to see other ones. But I don't care where you keep it, index cards, a notebook, but just have their contact information in a different place. This is just the names, just to prompt you to do the reminders and the contacts and the follow-up. And it says hello. Okay, well guys, we're running out of time. Do I do the 222? Not officially. Sorry, I'm not that organized. And then thanks for posting the examples. And if you're not a paper person, you can do it online. True, just depends on your preference. Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you guys for inviting me to chat. I'm excited about this, and it wasn't as organized as it typically is. I've trained on this a bunch of times, but if you have more questions, just use the this thread on the group, and I'm always happy to share my tools and support you, and I'm excited for all the growth we see going on. You guys are doing amazing. Have a marvelous rest of your weekend. Bye, everybody.